Did you know the very first fight in the world was between two brothers? Yup. Back then, there was no internet, no nosy neighbors, nothing. Just two brothers, one offering, and a whole lot of jealousy that slowly turned the world upside down. Our story goes way back to the time when Adam and Eve had just arrived on Earth. The world was quiet. The air was fresh. Everything was new and beautiful. Adam and Eve had two sons, Abel and Cain. Now, let me tell you what kind of guys they were. Abel, a calm, kind, always smiling guy. He loved his sheep so much that he'd talk to them and even sing for them. But Cain? Oh no, totally different story. Always grumpy, always complaining. He had this shovel and kept digging the ground while mumbling, "Why do I have to work while he's just out there chilling with his sheep?" Abel would say, "Bro, relax, come on, let's have lunch." And Cain would snap, "Lunch? I'm tired of hearing your sheep go ba-ba." Yeah, these two brothers lived in completely different worlds. One lived with love, the other with jealousy. One day, their father, Adam, said, "Boys, each of you should make an offering to God. Let's see whose gift he accepts." Abel got excited. He brought his best little lamb, clean, white, fluffy. He even named it Puffy. He said, "Puffy, forgive me, but this one's for God." Cain, on the other hand, went and grabbed a bunch of old, dried-up wheat from the back of the barn. He smirked. "God won't notice, right? It's the thought that counts." And well, God did notice. Fire came down from the sky. Abel's lamb was taken up as a sign of acceptance, but Cain's wheat didn't burn, just sat there and started to smell weird. Cain shouted, "What? You didn't accept wine?" Abel said calmly, "Easy, brother. God knows what's best." Cain yelled, "Oh, he knows, huh? So he made me look small in front of you?" And right then, a little spark lit up inside Cain's heart, but not the romantic kind, the dark one, jealousy. And that jealousy became the first flame that ever burned humanity. Day by day, Cain grew angrier. Every time Abel smiled, Cain thought, "Look at that smirk. He's showing off again." But Abel, he was just being Abel. One day, they were out in the field. The sun was burning. The ground cracked. And Cain was complaining again. Abel said, "Brother, why do you always frown? The world's beautiful. Look, the birds, the sunshine." Cain yelled, "Shut up. I don't want to hear birds. I just want to know why God loves you more." Abel smiled softly and said, "Maybe because I give without expecting anything back. You only give so you can get." Silence. The wind blew, leaves fell, and for the first time ever, jealousy turned into madness. Cain clenched his fist, grabbed some dirt, slammed it to the ground, and shouted, "Then you need to disappear from my sight." Abel stepped back. "What do you mean, Cain?" But before he could answer, the sound of a stone echoed, and the world went silent. Yeah, that day the first blood was spilled, and the earth, for the very first time, learned what pain feels like. Cain stood frozen, his hands shaking. He looked at his brother, motionless. He whispered, I just wanted you to understand me." Then, from a distance, a crow appeared. It started digging the ground with its beak. Cain stared in confusion. And from that crow, Cain learned how to dig the first grave. That day, the first human body was buried, and the world was never the same again. But the story doesn't end there. Years later, Cain realized that God never hated him. He just wanted him to learn. Jealousy doesn't only burn others, it burns you first. And from that day till now, every time you feel jealous, a little Cain wakes up inside you. But here's the good news. You still get to choose to be Abel or Cain.